Hi, I'm Dave from Military Antiques Toronto, and today we're going to be discussing some of the stuff that walked in the past day or so. So from my left to my right, we got a bunch of stuff. Just a little bit of stuff, whatever. So we'll start with a little bit. Some of these we got on the website already, some we haven't gotten to yet. There's a mintish, a nice set of officers' collars for the British Machine Gun Corps in World War I, and unfortunately a single. So you can see the quality, the details on them, and see that they're officers. If they were chocolate brown, they're, they're referred to OSD, but these aren't. But they're still a very nice set of collars for the Machine Gun Corps. So that's one thing. Then we got a British-made Ontario Regiment shoulder title. You can tell it's British-made, unlike the book that doesn't show the back. I will. You can see the angle of the stitching is at 45 degrees. That's like, look at the T right there. You can see the 45-degree angle. Flip it over. Yes, I know it's upside down for you, but you can see the stitching. If it looks like spaghetti, meaning a pile of spaghetti that's thrown in, it's usually a reproduction made in Pakistan or India. Not to say that British patches sometimes don't have lettering, stitching going across that looks different, but you'll know if you see a Pakistani or Indian copy by the spaghetti on the back. It's horrible. Also, the other giveaway with this stuff you should look at is that, and don't stick your face close to it when you're looking at it, just even hold it at arm's length and look at the lettering. So it's consistent. It goes around consistently. And also the lettering is in the same height. With the Pakistani and Indian copies, you will notice that the lettering sometimes is too close to each other, like the O would be right on top of the N, and then the T would be either too big or too small, and the A would be at an angle, or the T's at an angle compared to the rest of the lettering. But again, hold it at arm's length. Don't stick it close to your face and examine it. Hold it at arm's length, and that'll give you an idea if it's real or not, or if it's Pakistani or if it's British made. Because they do the angled stitching on the British stuff like that, and so do the Indians and the Pakistanis. World War I, 5-year service stripe. So you could say, like, this is the way it came. Obviously, it was in a photo album at one time. You could say this is for the Siberian Expeditionary Force. So he joined 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. If you had the other color for, if I remember correctly, it's red or white, for 1914, then you get, he served all the way in. So that's unusual that you get all these service stripes together. And you can tell it's been like that just by the condition it's in. So that's kind of neat. So that's that. Now, the important thing on this tin is this right here. You find them not dated a lot, but this one's 1915 dated. So this would be like a service writing kit. If I can get it open as I try not to break it. Oh, it goes that way. There we go. So you'd have like postcards inside here, and that's where they get transported and you don't get destroyed. And that slides closed. Obviously, there's nothing in here now. It's unfortunately empty, but it's nice because it's 15 dated, as I said right there, and you can put it in with your personal kit for a World War I soldier. Then you get into this. Now, it's milk powder, just what everyone wants, of course, but it's unopened. It still has the contents, and it's not rusted out, and you can still hear the powder in it. So these were given to part of POW parcels. It's not something you find every day, because normally you find them empty, like they're opened and used. And there's people who collect tins, but what's important with this is that it's a POW type package. So this one's US made in New York by the Borden Company, but this was used for British and Canadian POWs, and this one still has the contents, which, again, you just don't find them with the contents. You find empty tins all the time, but not contents. So there's all of that done. Put that off to the side. These look like a pair of wartime boots, British. They're not. They are size 7 medium. They got the clicker still on, but inside, if I can get it open, and you can see hopefully right inside there, They're clearly dated 1954. So they're post-Korean War, unfortunately, but they are what they are. They're good, be a good representative piece for display for a wartime collection. If you can't afford a pair of wartime boots, you can afford these, pass them off as such and not worry about it if you're just putting them out for display. So nice boots, but they are what they are, so it's all good. I have piles of helmets, and that's being polite. I just buy them. I buy them whenever they show up. You know, I was about to pass on this, but it was so mint, I had to buy it. So it's got the, what we call two-tone net, but my employee gets very upset when I do that and wants to call it a three-tone net, because as you can clearly see, there's one color, there's two color, there's three color. I'm still going to call it a two-tone net to annoy him. But see, one brown, black, green, not black, dark green, but I'm still going to call it a two-tone net because it'll annoy him. So we're good. So, but this thing is a mint condition helmet, inside and out. It is Canadian Lamp Company, 1942, lot number 78. This dates it as probably have never gone overseas, didn't leave the country. And let's see if I can get this. It's 7 1/8 and dated 19 something inside. 42 it looks like for the liner. It's just a minty helmet. That's the only reason I bought it. Other than that, I don't need it. But it was mint, so I couldn't say no. So more stuff. Then we have some home front tins. Nothing tremendous there, but you know, you just get something to go with home front stuff or with a kit to put with your stuff for display. You know, stuff that they would use back then or in a museum, whichever you prefer, for digestive, sleep, and energy. Well, okay. And it's Cadbury, so it must be chocolate. Unfortunately, no chocolate's in there. Now they don't make chocolate like they used to. More, and what is this? Caps, which is C's, so I'm not going to mess with it. So I'll leave that to the side. So then we have this little OXO tin, so used for making soups, etc. What's important with this, because someone who's more knowledgeable than me told me this, is that if it says OXO cubes, it's World War II. It says OXO in cubes, and the dog starts barking, it is World War I. So the key word in there is in, not just the OXO cubes, but OXO in cubes. So there's different sizes of this. There's this size, which is probably the smallest, as I pry it open, with no contents, but that's okay. It's got printing on the bottom, so it is what it is. And there you go. So that's World War I. There's OXO in cubes in a number of places. OXO in cubes, so it's good. So there you go. Then we get this nice little 73rd Battalion Black Watch booklet, obviously made for the Black Watch. Canadian. 73rd, of course, was involved at Vimy Ridge. So, and then they unfortunately were disbanded, absorbed, however you want to phrase it, into their parental units. But this is really nice. It tells the early history and all the way to the end where it said they became the 13th and 42nd Battalion. And then, of course, now became the Royal Highlanders of Canada Black Watch. This isn't something you normally find, so that's why I kind of went, you know what? I'm in, I'll take it. I know one guy's going to want it, but you know what? He probably won't want to pay for it, so that's all good. But it's a nice piece. It's just something different. These, you can call them artillery, you can call them mortarmen. They're knee pads. They're British. So, broad arrowed. This one's better, I think. Broad arrowed. And these are obviously because when you're doing a mortar, you're down on one knee, sometimes on both, and all you're doing is loading the tube. So to save yourself from everything else, except you don't obviously need to hear, so they don't worry about your hearing defense, but they worried about your knees. So here's your knee pads that they used. And there you go. Nice War Department stamped, not dated, unfortunately. You can see the inside is made from pressed felt. And I didn't even check the other one, see if there's a date or anything in it. No, just more pressed felt, which is probably better than, you know, what they had for anything else. There you go. And then I got this small duffel bag. So, C broad arrowed. Actually, I didn't even notice this. Now that I look at it. He's in the RAF, and that says Beaton, Ontario. Oh, okay. Lieutenant A.L. Fachin, I would say. And it's dated inside. SW Limited, 1916. That's a nice piece. So just more, but it's nice because it's RAF marked, and I didn't realize that actually when I bought it. Now I see that I purchased it, so that's cool. Last but not least, this literally just walked in the door this morning. I just bought this. Ontario Regiment battle dress. So we have his trousers with those same suspenders I told you about before that are marked police. This is what they standard use, so don't let anybody tell you different. They are C broad arrowed. They're dated. It's hard to make out. It's Timothy Eaton, Montreal, August 45, I would say, size 6. It's been double or triple stamped by accident, but it is what it is. But what's important on this is there's his name and service number. Obviously Knowles, D, perhaps D. So there's that. And then you have his battle dress. Corporal, Ontario Regiment, British made titles. Remember, again, like I said, don't hold them close to your face. Hold them at arm's length and look at them, and you'll know they're real or not. Canvas Armored Brigade, Corporal. Tailored in the back like they were. And same on the other side. No wound stripes on this one, no service stripes. That's the way I got it. Doesn't appear to have had them. His ribbons are on there. So, and in the pockets, I already know, because I looked at it, were his trouser blousers, or weights for his battle dress pants, made out of shell heads, or rounds, because you can see they're pointy. I guess they weigh less than the issue ones. But what's important on this, besides the beautifully crisp label, August 1943, C broad arrow, size 3. It's really nice inside. They're on there. You can see where they stitched the ribbons on. But again, Knowles B13871, 11th Canadian Armored Regiment. There's no other information in here, but you know, you never know, so you always check under the flaps here, because sometimes they wrote their service number in there or their name. But that is a very nice battle dress to the Ontario Regiment. The only problem I have with this grouping is that great beret, lovely black beret, it's great, right? One problem. I don't believe this is his beret, meaning worn during the war. Reasoning why? We didn't take out the liners during the war. We took them out after the war. Because even when I was in the Army, yes, I was in the Army, like Sterling, and we took out the liners to make the beret fit better to your head. This, to me, is suspicious that this liner is missing, has been cut out. I'm sure it's a fine beret. There's the rest of the leather tab that was there, that was over the grommets, which is fine, but it should have the liner. All the berets I've had that are wartime had liners. Why do they rip the liners out? Because they're trying to rip you off and tell you that it's a wartime beret and it just got, he took out the liner to make it more comfortable. That's not true. They didn't do that, period. So if you get an airborne beret or a maroon, a black beret or a green beret and they're missing the liner, don't believe it's wartime, unless you really want to believe the guy's story. Buy the product, not the story. I do not believe that this beret is wartime. It came with it. I have no reason to doubt the person I bought it from. And it supposedly came from the family, which is fine. I don't disbelieve him. But this is probably the guy's beret that he got after the war, put his badge on, because it's the same style beret, really, except that he put this badge on and wore this at a veterans whether at the Legion or at Remembrance Day or whatever. Great piece, but it's not, I don't believe this is wartime. It doesn't have the badge backing, but I still don't believe it's wartime. But it came with it, so it is what it is. So that is my little bit of pickups for the past day or two that walked in the door. I haven't really been out because I've been working and it was Easter. But thanks for looking. Follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Check out my website, militaryantiquestoronto.com. You'll be surprised what's on there because we're trying to get 100 plus items up there a day, but sometimes we can't. Depends on the internet that day, or it depends what walks in or what's going on. Thanks for looking. Have a nice day. Take care.